Gosh, I love the fight of a trout. It's a pretty rainbow. There it is. Decent little fish. Out on the Chattahoochee River. Yeah, you heard that right. Water's looking good. Last little bit of morning mist on the water. But water depths here, you know, in that 3.5, 4 foot range. With some deeper pools that may get some of them, you know, up to 10, 12 feet, but that's pretty rare. Maybe 6 foot pools are somewhat more normal. When I fish the river, I'm primarily going for trout. They stock this area with rainbows, and then there's some brown trout here as well. I've caught plenty of rainbows. I've never caught a brown trout, but I like to go with these little single hook spinners. They've got these little flies tied into them. These can be pretty darn effective. Other folks have had a lot of success on small crankbaits actually. So I've got a little small case of small crankbaits that I might try. But anyway, I'm gonna start off with these with this little spinner while I get something else tied on my other rod. I'll just kind of slowly pass this out side to side. I'll let this one troll while I'm slowly bringing my way up, heading upriver. What's nice is I don't have to go too fast to keep this elevated, and also keep it giving me some kind of action because I'm using the current that's coming towards me to assist. So just a nice gentle slow troll. We'll get this other one tied up. Oh, got a hit on this one. Are we on? We are. Didn't realize he was on. First trout. This little starter rainbow. Let's get him released and back in the water. So doing this while in the river, just gotta take your time, keep your boat positioned in the right spot. Fish are gonna be fine. Look at that. These little abrasion on his side there. Beauty. Bye, little guy. Back in the water. Alright. So, because the water's a little bit stained, I went with a tiny little micro crankbait. I have never caught anything on these guys before, but I went this bright orange color just to make it a little more visible here. And I was actually out kind of near the middle of the channel, which was kind of surprising, but there's obviously stuff below these guys are relating to. Now these things are so small that they don't cast very well. They actually don't run, if you pull them too hard, they don't run well. So it's kind of matching a lot of variables to get them to work just right. And that seemed to be the ticket there. We'll see if that holds, but that's promising. Finally found a use for all those things. Here we go. That was a hit. That one was in the channel swing. So what's cool about trolling in the river is that I can just kind of keep going back and forth really slow, almost staying in position. But the baits that I'm trolling are staying elevated off the river bottom, so they're just kind of constantly staying in the strike zone, hopefully. There we go, fish on. Put this fly back in front of its face. Just gotta keep it pinned, keep the pressure on them, because they like to fight. And they can thrash and throw this thing. Gosh, I love the fight of a trout. They're so strong. It's a pretty rainbow. right in the bottom of the lip. Just gonna let him try this out, let him go, and hold position all the while. So sit tight, Mr. Trout. We're going back for a swim. Do that right out. Ready. Bye-bye, buddy. Thanks for playing. Just like that, we're back to fishing. So that one came on this single hook spinner with the fly in it. I really like this one. It's caught a lot of fish here on this river and on this stretch. All right, let's get back to it. Good morning so far. There's a large boulder up here that people oftentimes will either hike up to or boat up to and beach and fish from. The water that comes around is funneled through this nice little rapid. So I'm kind of using it as like a water treadmill. I'm barely making any progress going upstream. My lures are being active and just kind of hanging out in the strike zone. I've never actually been able to get up past this just because of the way the rocks are situated funneling water, but the water's looks like it's high enough right now where I might be able to use my pedals to get above this. Might need to paddle assist, which means I need to move my rods out of the way. There's a slack water area over here that I'm going to actually pull into and cast into this rapid. Oftentimes I'll have a rod set up with something like a trout magnet and a small float. And just cast into it, let it float down. Or just cast a spinner across it and swim it back to me. That might be what I do. I kind of assess what I want to do about going above it. I might do that because it looks like there's another slackwater area above that boulder. Just gotta cross this rapid. There we go. Sean, hanging out right in it. Paid off. Come across where I want to be. Love these guys on the ultralight. That nose pointed. Best one of the day so far. Nice. Good one. Really good one. Right in the corner of the mouth. We wanted that sucker buried. Good one. Thanks for playing, buddy. That was excellent. That was probably one of my better ones out here. Again, on this little spinner. Single hook spinner with a fly on it. They love it. It's a Meps. It says on here what kind. Could be Aguila. Yeah, this is the Aguila series. I've seen these in treble hook, I think, as well as single hook. I like the single hook. Alright, let's let that float down. Just hanging out with anybody else. So yeah, as you can see, I worked my way out of that rapid and I'm actually moving upstream without really pedaling. So this is a cool little hole that's behind this boulder. casting this little tiny crankbait. It'll actually go. And I'll release a little bit more line, just kind of let it float down. Release a little bit more line, let it float down. Engage the bail, and then slowly just kind of lifting the tip, giving it a little bit of action. Slowly just kind of pulsing it back towards me. Alright, switching up one of those hard baits to something a little bit longer. Bright color on the top, double trebles. It's like a teeny tiny little jerk bait. Got a little more weight to it, so the castability is a little bit better. Just kind of work it back through. I'll probably use this to cast towards laydowns a little bit more, which is what I'm going to do. About to start heading back downriver, floating, and cast fishing a good bit more. Yeah, this is nice. You give it a couple pops, and then it just ever so slowly starts to sink. I need to set up a little closer. Drifted all the way back downstream, didn't get any bites, so pull that crankbait. I'm going to get another one of these little guys, these little micro cranks, going with a all black. It's actually black flaked, kind of a cool looking color. So I'm going to do that, troll it back upstream, float back down, cast some fish, and then I'm out of here. Could be the end of the morning bite window. Yep, I like that. A little easy cast out so it doesn't get tangled. Give it a little bit of breathing room. Set drag. Now I'm going to zigzag across. On the micro crank. Another rainbow. Jumper. Nice. You like the fact that they only have one set of trebles. That's good. Decent little fish. Full pan. So, same little setup with that micro crank. It's just a black version. Nice. Alright, almost to the end of this run. When that one hit it, I think it hit it coming up because I immediately heard a splash. Saw the rod move and then immediately heard a splash as if it was coming up to breach, hit it from below. Pretty awesome. That creaking noise that you hear is my steering cable is a little bit over tightened. When I swapped out the rudder from the stock rudder to a metal one, I think I over tightened that cable. And so when this thing warms up and all the plastic parts expand, the cable gets extra tight. And so it squeaks. But I mean, the one thing that's good about a tight rudder is that it's not going to sit back there and wobble. I've got to put something into it to get it to move, which means I can hold position if I'm in a good spot, which that's what I'd kind of prefer. I know Doesn't sound very pleasing, but I kind of got used to it. But anyway, that's what that is. It's not a defect in the boat or anything. It's something I did. Well, I think the bite window has essentially shut. Almost back to the top of this run, this stretch rather. I'll drift back down, this time casting the spinner towards the banks. This time of year, the brown trout think it's time to spawn, so they'll be heading for those laydowns near the banks. Probability of catching them is a little bit higher in the shallower parts of the water, and that's if they're even on the move right now. It might be a tad early, but yeah, this has been awesome. Hopefully I can connect with a fish or two before I get out of here. Otherwise, I have thoroughly enjoyed this short little stretch of time on the water, just a couple hours. But it is just a nice little change of pace, so peaceful. A little something different. Can't wait to be back out again. Thank you for watching. If you feel so inclined, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And share this with somebody that you think might like river fishing, trout fishing, kayak fishing, any and all of that. Thank you guys. See you next time.